If a global collapse begins tomorrow, the first American war won't be fought with missiles or tanks or even politics. It will be fought with something far more ancient: water. And here is the truth no one wants to say out loud: America is a superpower only as long as its rivers keep flowing, its reservoirs stay full, and its cities stay hydrated. But the climate math is telling a very different story. Aquifers are draining, reservoirs are collapsing, rivers are drying up, and 11 states are entering the danger zone all at the same time. When water runs out, cities collapse. When cities collapse, states fall. And when states fall, the US could start fighting itself. This is the most detailed map ever created of the American states that might lose everything first when the water wars begin. Let's dive in. Most Americans don't realize this, but our water is not evenly distributed. Not even close. The West is drying, the South is heating up, the Midwest is draining. The Northeast is flooding. And the Great Plains are cracking under pressure. Three powerful forces are creating the perfect storm for collapse. First, overuse. Our agriculture, industries, and cities are consuming water much faster than nature can replace it. Second, the climate shift. We're seeing snowpacks, which are natural water reservoirs, fall by 20 to 40%. This shrinks our rivers. And as heat spikes, more precious water evaporates into thin air. Third, and perhaps most critically, is aquifer depletion. The massive Ogallala aquifer, the lifeline for 8 entire states, is sinking toward irreversible collapse. When these three forces overlap in one place, you don't just get a drought. You get the potential for state failure. So let's map the states that could fall first. Starting at number 10 is Georgia, with a score of 5.6 out of 10. The biggest red flag? Atlanta is using more water than the Chattahoochee River can actually provide. Combine that with a growing population and intense heat waves, and you get instant shortages. The risk is highest in the Atlanta metro area, North Georgia's reservoirs, and the agricultural counties in the south. The collapse could start with urban panic, leading to interstate shutdowns and a drain on rural resources. Next, at number 9, we have Florida, with a score of 5.8. It sounds crazy, right? A state surrounded by water is running out of drinking water, but it's real. Saltwater is seeping into freshwater wells, destroying them. Add explosive population growth, extreme heat, and a heavy reliance on fragile aquifers, and you have a recipe for disaster. The danger zones are the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area, the Tampa-Orlando corridor, and the entire southwest coast. Coming in at number 8 is Alabama, with a score of 6.0. This is a hidden crisis. Alabama's aquifers are shrinking way faster than anyone predicted. At the same time, demand from agriculture is rising, and heat spikes are getting worse every single year. The most vulnerable areas are the Birmingham corridor, Montgomery, and the southern farmlands. At number 7, we find Arkansas, scoring a 6.3. Arkansas sits on top of the alluvial aquifer, one of the most depleted in the entire country. In some places, the water level has dropped by over 100 feet. This isn't just about turning on a tap. The collapse sequence here looks like this. Agriculture fails as the aquifer drains, which triggers economic failure, and finally, a massive wave of people leaving the state. And finally, at number 6, is Kansas. With a water collapse index of 6.7, Kansas is losing its part of the Ogallala aquifer faster than any other state. Some wells have already gone dry, permanently. The highest risk is in western Kansas and across the High Plains agricultural belt. The outcome is terrifying: a total collapse in food production, a wave of climate refugees, and complete state destabilization. Number 5 is New Mexico. This state is on a severe drought trajectory. The Rio Grande is shrinking, extreme heat is becoming the norm, and water conflicts with Texas and Colorado are escalating. The major cities at risk are Albuquerque, Las Cruces, and Santa Fe. When the water goes, these cities face an existential crisis. Breaking into the top 4, Nevada. 2 words explain it all. Las Vegas. The city only survives because Lake Mead has water, but Lake Mead is failing. When it does, Vegas dies. We're talking about 2.3 million people who depend entirely on a collapsing reservoir, with no local groundwater, extreme heat, and absolutely zero rainfall reliability. The collapse vector is simple. Tourism dies, power demands spike, and a mass exodus follows. Number 3 is Arizona, the future epicenter of America's water war. Why? Phoenix, A city of nearly 5 million people depends almost entirely on the Colorado River. But the river is dwindling, groundwater is gone, and the temperatures are becoming lethal. The explosive growth has created a time bomb. In a prolonged grid collapse, Phoenix could become completely uninhabitable. The runner-up at number 2 is California. California's water crisis is the most complex in the country. The drivers of its collapse are numerous. The massive water demands of Central Valley agriculture, critical aquifer depletion, and a dangerous dependency on the Sierra Nevada snowpack, which is shrinking. Add the population stress of Los Angeles and San Diego, plus wildfires destroying watersheds, and you have a recipe for disaster. When agriculture collapses, panic will hit the coastal cities, sparking a migration wave into northern states. And now the number 1 state to fall first in a water crisis, Colorado. Surprising, right? Most people think Colorado is water secure. But here's the terrifying truth. Colorado supplies water to 7 other states. When Colorado fails, everyone downstream fails with it. The Colorado River, the lifeblood of the West, originates here. But every year the snowpack shrinks, reservoirs drop, heat rises, and demand explodes. The interstate water agreements are becoming impossible to honor. Colorado is the heart of the American water system. And if the heart stops, the entire West dies. Once these states begin to fail, the pressure radiates outward, creating a water war map. The U.S. could break into regional water blocks. The Mississippi block, the Rockies block, the Great Lakes block, the Atlantic block, and the Desert block, which collapses first. Borders will harden. States will hoard water. So which states survive? Only a handful maintain stability. Think Montana with its glacial lakes, Minnesota and Michigan with the Great Lakes, Wisconsin with its water surplus, and Idaho with its cold climate and high elevation. These will become the water fortresses of the future. When the water disappears, the map of America changes forever. If you want to know where people will flee when the taps run dry, which cities collapse instantly, and which become safe havens, watch our next episode. The states that become fortresses after a global collapse. This is 0 Hour Atlas. We don't predict doom. We map what survives. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.